Last night I rewatched the first Smile movie to see if I had kind of eased up on it with my criticisms, if I now enjoyed it more and saw the film that everybody else saw, because everybody seemed to love Smile when that movie came out. And I have to say, after rewatching it, my thoughts are solidified. It had promise, it had potential. I like the way that it explores depression and grief and how that can genetically be handed to you and what it's like to kind of lose yourself to depression. That you know it's not real, that your mind is betraying you, that the way you perceive yourself and the events and actions of others around you, it is not accurate, but it's so hard to battle within your own mind. I thought that that was great. I thought the script of that movie was great, even if the scares and scenarios are at times very derivative and predictable. I never feel like that movie really put its foot down on the accelerator the way it needed to until the very, very end, where Sosie Bacon is in that dilapidated house out on the edge of the county, and she's looking at this weird, meaty, smiley monster. That was the best part of the movie for me, but you just had to wait a really long time for it. But I still thought this director, Parker Finn, really showed some potential with Smile, and so I was somewhat excited to see Smile 2. I didn't know about this whole doing it about a pop star. I'm not familiar with Naomi Scott. I haven't seen Aladdin. I haven't seen her Power Ranger movie. She is an unknown to me. And I'm so glad that's not the case anymore, because this girl is a star. What a phenomenal talent. Smile 2 focuses on her character, Sky Riley. She is a global phenom. She is a superstar pop singer. And in the last year, she has had a traumatic event happen in which she lost her boyfriend. She's been battling with addiction and a bunch of other demons, and now she's going to battle with a smile demon. So I just have to give all the kudos to her, because this is such a daunting performance to have to bring to life. I don't think horror actresses get enough credit. I wouldn't want to be a final girl. It is so hard. Can you imagine having to get into character and scream from the very bottom of your lungs, take after take after take, that you are responsible for being somebody that the audience can really latch themselves onto, put themselves in your shoe, feel all of your emotions, all of your anxieties, all of your fears, and be as frazzled as you are? That can't be fun, especially with, like this movie, we're always told, hey, turn that frown upside down. Why do you look so down? Just go ahead and smile. If you just smile, your face will trick your brain into telling you you're happy. Well, if your body can do that to your brain, imagine what your body can do to your brain when you're running around all hectic and frazzled all day, screaming for your life like you just saw a murderer coming for you. It has to be hard. So props to Naomi Scott, because she had to do that, but also had to pull off learning a ton of grueling choreography, because she is a global pop phenom in this movie. And the choreography was actually impressive. That's not something I usually, am super interested in, but I had to go, oh, wow, I could not do that. I have 2 left feet. I would have lost all of the steps. Look at how many people are in this dance troupe that are depending on her to nail everything, to know her spot, to know the next movement, to know who to ping pong off of, to know where the light is going to come in and where she needs to divert her attention, to know where the next camera is, to know how to work the crowd. No freaking thanks. That by the time these pop stars go out on stage, every hair is perfect. Every bit of makeup is perfect. The outfits, just like the outfits in this movie, it is, they're pretty and they're impressive and they dazzle and they're glamorous, and it just looks so effortless and easy. But goddamn, is it not? And then you got to deal with the whole world staring at you, and that's what this character has to deal with. Everybody thinks they know her and they love her, and they do a good job of showing what it'd be like to be in this world. To where she goes out and she's doing autograph signings, and you just see a bunch of kind of damaged people who have a parasocial relationship with her and have all of this love for her. And to them, it feels two ways, but she doesn't know these people, and it's very off-putting and weird. But we also know for her, she doesn't even know what to trust what she's seeing. There's something more supernatural at play here. So is this just some weirdo who's a little too clingy? Is this a smile monster? Is this some sort of Bjork-like stalker? If you want something creepy, go look at the Bjork stalker tapes. See this guy recording himself and acting like freaking Buffalo Bill. And then what he did when he went into Bjork's home. Freaking creepy, y'all. But that's what these pop stars are dealing with. And then on top of it, they don't even have a good support system, because they don't have like the maternal love that I know and hopefully you know. They don't have a mom that just loves them and wants them for the, whatever they want out of life, for their passions, for their hopes, for their dreams, for their well-being, for their mental health. No. This person is nothing more than an opportunity to all these people. Naomi Scott's character just represents luxury, riches, career advancement, a life that these people would otherwise have no sort of way to reach. And she starts to feel the weight of that and the burden of that in this movie, and you start to wear it with her. She's a very sympathetic protagonist, which is impressively done by her in the script because they don't make her out to be squeaky clean and perfect. She's a very gray character. She fucks up a lot in this movie and in her past, to where she could easily be unlikable, but yet you know where she's coming from. You wouldn't want to live in this little life that she has. It seems so freaking lonely, even if she's surrounded by people all the time. So shout out to Naomi Scott for just a wonderful performance. One of the best horror performances of the year, no doubt. But also shout out to Parker Finn for helping her cultivate that and for doing a lot more than what most horror directors have to do. Because like I said, he really does a great job with kind of creating a concert film at times, for having that choreography, knowing how to work the camera, knowing where to direct it and where to point it and to what angles to work, knowing what type of lighting to bring in, what sort of colors to use, how to use your shadows, how to use your sound effects, your music, to get all of that and give you something that doesn't feel like horror at all. It feels like I went to like the Beyonce film or something like that, and I was actually kind of vibing with it and having fun. They really made her feel like a superstar, to where I went, you know what? Yeah, I get it. So this guy, he can do horror, he can do concert film like stuff, and this opening, holy shit, wasn't ready for this. Guys, this intro is awesome. We pick up 6 days after the first film. We have Kyle Gallner. He just saw Sosie Bacon emulate herself. He's dealing with that. He knows what he must do. And it ends up in this really crazy scenario I never expected, to where there's gunplay, there's crime, there's drama. It's super tense. We have an awesome tracking shot. And it's just a nice hook that really brings you into the film and makes you go, yo, I'm in for a fun ass ride. So clearly I had a good time with this movie, and I enjoyed a lot more than the first Smile. I feel like they really looked at that first film and they said, okay, what type of scares can we get with this monster? What sort of scenarios can we come up with to employ this monster? How can we beef this monster up? How can we make it more terrifying? How can we make the overall ride more intense, more brutal, more visceral, in a way that you feel it both physically and emotionally? And they did all that. I feel like they took all the different facets of the first Smile movie and they ripped the knobs off, man. So that's all awesome. Why is this a 3.5 out of 5 for me and not a 5? Well, I feel like the first movie, when it got to the end, as cool as some of the imagery was, I feel like in its effort to give you one last big boom that we like to do in our horror movies, one to send you home on, they kind of unraveled a lot of the work they did with their story and with their work on the theme. And here we kind of do that but to a more egregious effect. I was loving the first act and the second act. I was with most of the third act. They're asking you to kind of forgive certain things or to just go with certain things. And then you're like, that wouldn't happen in real life. You can't just go into a closed down Pizza Hut and the freezer be working. They wouldn't have the electricity still set up in the store. What are we doing here? But you're like, you know what? All right, I'll forgive it. I'll forgive it. Y'all are cooking. I'm going to forgive it. That's a small thing that I have to forgive in order to enjoy it. And then you get to like the final bit, the final 5 minutes, and you go, oh, yeah, that, to me, that didn't look so great. That did not look so great at all. Bigger is not always better. Maybe this is a way that we did not improve on the first Smile. And there's also a lot of stuff in the third act to where it kind of undoes what happened in the first and second act at times. And that was one of the worst parts about how they made this monster more menacing. This monster takes on way more personas than we've seen before. It does way more actions where it's directly contacting our star. It's just doing a lot more, and it's way more intense, and it's way more scary. But we find out that because she's an unreliable narrator and her mind is so warped and this thing is so in her psyche that you never know what to trust. And you find out that in order to get the ending that we get, that certain things that I really enjoyed in the first act and the second act may not necessarily have actually happened, or maybe are not real or were not true. And that kind of sucks, especially when I imagine going back to revisit this and to watch it a second time. I go, oh, every time I watch this, I'm now going to have segments where I go, I really like this. And I want to be affected by this. I want to be scared. But I know it's not real. I know she's being gaslit right now. And that's just really unfortunate. I don't like when they do that with movies. I like when all the scares are real. I like when I can go back and it's still real to me, damn it. So those are the things that take it down 1.5 stars for me. I felt like first act super strong, second act super strong, third act started off okay, getting a little weak. I don't know if this will play out this way, but I'm with you. What are we gonna get? oh, we're gonna get that. That wasn't worth me going along with there in the beginning of the third act. I should have been more critical. Damn. Almost had it. But still, a lot better than the first movie. Naomi Scott is a freaking star. Parker Finn is a very capable director who can do a whole lot, and I'm ready to see what he's going to do outside of these Smile films. Cannot wait. Eagerly anticipating his next project. Check this one out if you liked the first Smile, and check this one out if you didn't like the first Smile, because it is just so much better if you ask me. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like, please subscribe so you can catch all the other Nightmare Flicks reviews, rankings, and general horror discussion. And I gotta ask you to do one more thing before I go. Would you please have yourself a great day? I'm Dave for Nightmare Flicks saying, that's a wrap.